Oh, I have to figure it out because he was such a trash talker for years. So every time he comes to Tallahassee, he comes to me, I tell him I'll wave at him. His seats, wherever he gets seats, are always directly across from our season ticket seats. I see you over there. I don't know where you are, but you're over there. So we're like, wave at you.
Either this weekend or next weekend.
Now that's what we're saying. But that's the, I mean, we can go to, it's only 4.5 hours. So we can go the same day, come back. Yeah. I would say,
Ready? Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. This is the September 26th regular board meeting. Let the record show that all aldermen are present. This time we will, is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Scott, second by Mr. Alderman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Tonight, Mr. Chick Cody will lead us in a prayer, and Alderman Bobby Cox will lead us in the pledge. Please stand.
Shall we pray? Lord, it is with thanksgiving that we come to you and ask that you put your blessings upon us. Bless this board, bless our schools, bless our workforce as we go forth, Lord, for everything we say and do, for your glory and honor. In Christ's name we pray and ask it. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to do something. Can y'all hear me okay? We'll do something a little different tonight. We're going to have a proclamation that we're going to give to ourselves. And it's in recognition of the City of Ocean Springs' 130th anniversary. Whereas September 9th, 2022 marks the 130th anniversary of the City of Ocean Springs. And whereas Pierre Lemoyne d'Iberville first discovered Ocean Springs in 1699, where he established Fort Maurepas. In 1811, the territory came under the domain of the United States, and by 1817, Mississippi was admitted into the Union. And whereas the City of Ocean Springs was incorporated on September 9, 1892, with a population of 1,500 people. Since then, it has grown exponentially into a population of more than 17,000 residents. And whereas the City of Ocean Springs has made a large contribution to the history and character of the state of Mississippi, and its residents look forward to its bright and successful future. And whereas the City of Ocean Springs has enhanced the Mississippi Gulf Coast with culturally rich attractions like the Walter Anderson Museum, Mary C. O'Keefe Cultural Center, the city also boasts a robust community of local businesses and generates tourism through a downtown destination that hosts popular events such as Peter Anderson Arts and Crafts Festival, Cruising the Coast, and Mardi Gras parades. And whereas the City of Ocean Springs is celebrating its 130th anniversary to commemorate this abundant history, culture, and pride. And now, therefore, I, Kenny Holloway, Mayor of the City of Ocean Springs, do proudly present this proclamation in recognizing and hereby proclaim the year as 2022 as the City of Ocean Springs' 130th anniversary. The city was also first founded here by d'Iberville at Fort Maurepas, contrary to what the citizens across the bay say. So tonight we're going to have an update from the in Goodwill Industries of South Mississippi, we have President and CEO Trip Harrison here with us, and he's going to fill us in and bring us up to date on what Goodwill is doing in Ocean Springs and along the coast.
Good evening, Mayor Holloway and Aldermen. Thank you for allowing me time. Just wanted to give a brief update on what Goodwill, in particular in Ocean Springs, is doing. We currently have about 42 employees, just so that you're all aware, making a minimum wage of $11 an hour and up. We also have basically an economic impact just from wages alone is $1.2 million. Also, the store has a revenue impact just in the city of Ocean Springs of $1.5 million. So pretty substantial impact economically. Additionally, for those of you who do care, we also are able to divert over 2.7 million pounds from going into the area landfills by people donating things to us versus putting them in the trash. We have a retail training store, also offers affordable training or affordable shopping options for those with low barriers to income, as well as an economic engine, believe it or not, where we have a lot of entrepreneurs who are resellers that essentially use our products here in the Ocean Springs store that we get the donations from this local community to turn it into their own business, whether it's using it to make stuff or to just resell it to the general public throughout this region as well as throughout the nation. We have a Career Connections store, so that's the mission side of Goodwill, for those of you who don't know. And we serve, and we've been here since 1974, we serve over 50,000 people since 1974 with basic soft skills training, digital skills training here in the current time, and then whatever is relevant to local industry here that they need help with trying to find people, which this day and time is pretty tough. And that Career Connections Center offers, all these services are free to individuals who come to seek our services. With many barriers to employment. Some folks think that we just work with people with disabilities. That is true. We do a lot of work with that, but we also have people with other barriers. We can even take care of folks who are accountants that just want a career change and have no idea where to begin, and everything in between. One of the biggest areas that we're now focusing on going into 2023 is reentry. All of you, I'm sure, have heard about it and the concerns and challenges those folks face coming back into or repopulating into the population. And we are going to be at the head of that, working closely with law enforcement agencies as well as social service agencies beyond our own training to give these wraparound services for these folks from reentry. So we'll be sure to bring more back to the council and let you all know the work that we're doing there. But we're going to make a big impact here in Jackson County, in particular at Ocean Springs. Lastly, we are launching a financial literacy program that is free to the public. We'll be doing that starting September the 20th, every Tuesday at 5:15 p.m. And it's open for anybody to come, and so hopefully a lot of folks will take advantage of that, especially right now during the hard economic challenges that we're all facing with inflation and things like that. So hopefully that'll be something that will be well received by the residents of Ocean Springs. And then lastly, just kind of as a walk away or a parting comment, would like to encourage the city of Ocean Springs to get behind and support us doing a citywide pop-up donation event. We've done this in several other cities, Goshen, Diamond Head, and Long Beach here recently, where the city has got behind and supported a donation drive event over a course of a weekend that has really helped. Every donation that we get basically equates over to about 20 to 21 people that we can serve for the free services for this country. And with that, I'll turn it over. If you have any questions for me, I'll certainly take them. If not, I'll let you get on with your agenda.
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. This pop-up donation event, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
The pop-up donation event, what's entailed? What's that entail?
So that's basically just finding a spot. We've used a fire department, a vacant lot, anything that is convenient to people along a major thoroughfare. And we partner with your social media channels as well as our social media channels to push the word out. And there's obviously press behind it and things like that that are driving and showing that the city is in support of the mission work that we're doing based on the impact that we have in that local community. Because all those donations and the revenue generated stay right here in this community. They do not go anywhere else.
That's a pretty good idea. We'll get with you on that one and find a time that's convenient or you think works best.
Certainly. We certainly appreciate the consideration.
Okay.
Thank you.
We thank you for what you do. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing, 3111 Government Street, EID 60127-160.000. Request approval of a conditional use permit to allow a preschool/daycare facility in the R1 low-density single-family residential district. The Planning Commission recommends approval. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Move for the public hearing.
Motion by Mr. Cox. Second by Mr. Wade. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're now in public hearing. Carolyn, you want to explain this?
Yeah, this is the church that is there on Government Street, across from Brooms 2, in the curve. Okay, so they are working with the daycare that is existing across the street to just expand some of their classes and use some of the church facilities across the street. So it doesn't require any additional parking. There's plenty of parking there at the church. So it is in R1 district, but it is adjacent to some commercials. So they'll just be using some of the church's facilities to supply and provide some additional daycare services. There was no objection or anyone that commented there at the Planning Commission public hearing, and the Planning Commission did vote to approve it unanimously.
Is there anyone from the audience who would like to speak for or against the public hearing recommendation? Need a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close, Mayor.
Second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to approve request of conditional use permit to allow a preschool daycare facility in R1 low density single family residential district. 111 Government Street, PID number 601-271-60.000.
Second that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Blackman and second by Mr. Cox. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving right along. Coming to the agenda, it's the time we have agenda public comment. Anybody wishing to address the board on an agenda item may do so now. You'll have 3 minutes. There'll be only 30 minutes total for this part of the agenda. So if anybody wants to address the board on any agenda item, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. Okay. Next item on the agenda is old business. We have Dr. Coleman here, Ms. Gill, from the Ocean Springs School District. And it is to accept the school district's budget FY 2023. Patty, do you have anything on this?
No, I explained to them we had actually went ahead and adopted, because we adopted our tax millage, so that also adopted theirs at the time. They just came in case you guys have any questions about the budget. It only went up 0.06, and that had to do with the debt. Yeah, 66.69. Is that right, Vicki? Oh, that's what it was last year, 66.75. So they're just here in case you guys have any questions.
Does anybody have any questions? District?
No questions, but since y'all are both here, Dr. I want to thank y'all for the work you do. I mean, our school system is constantly in the news, top of this, top of that. We appreciate the work y'all do there to educate our kids, especially speaking as the father of a junior at the Ocean Springs High School. Thank you. She is a yes. Every time I say that, I get more gray hairs pop out on my head. But yes, my youngest is a junior this year.
And certainly we'd like to thank not only our mayor, but our board of aldermen. And I want to give special thanks to the Public Works Department, who has helped us out tremendously, especially when we always seem to be in a tight. And certainly also our chief of police and our chief of fire for working together to keep all of our students safe. We're excited about this school year. I think you all may have received calendars from us, one for your refrigerator, but I also want to make sure you got a football calendar. First home game is this Friday night. I suggest if you're not coming to the game, stay out of the vicinity of the stadium because I'm not responsible for the parking, but if our public community pep rally and our first scrimmage game are any indication, we can expect a sellout crowd. So we're excited to see Mr. Football, Ray Hubbard, continue his success. We were with them the last 2 weekends. We're coming in 2-0. We expect to be undefeated and hopefully bring home a state championship. So anything that we can do, of course, please let us know. Thank you so much, Ms. Stimpy, for always supporting us. We look forward to seeing some of you all as principal for a day this year. It's a lot of work. I know those of you who have done it before know that. But of course, we're always excited to keep the Greyhound Nation at the forefront of all of the positive news. So thank you all for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, is there a motion to accept the budget?
Except their budget, the school board's budget.
I'll make a motion to accept the Ocean Springs School District FY 2022-2023 budget.
Second.
Okay, motion by Ms. Black and second by Mr. Anthony. All in favor?
Aye.
Carries again.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank y'all.
Okay, next item on the agenda is to adopt the City of Ocean Springs FY 2022-2023 budget. Patty?
So the budget that I presented the other night was line item. Tonight, if you notice, this budget is done by series. That is because when we adopt the budget, the one we handed out the other night went line by line, so everybody can understand it all. The one that we see tonight is what will go in the paper, and it's also the one we adopt, because then if we have a reason that we're 10% over on one line item, it goes by the series. The other one would keep us under such a tight restraint to each line item. Does anybody have any questions? Do you want me to go over anything again? This is just a shorter version, and now it's grouped into payroll series. Everything's just in three instead of all the numbers. I also forgot the other night to thank my staff, who has just helped me tremendously. This piece of paper had to get created by Kelly because I ran off to Tampa and didn't get my job done, so she did it for me. Vicki called it. Thank you, Vicki. So, I have a great staff. I thank the board for the staff because it really makes my job easier to have so many highly qualified people to work with. And from the department heads to Carolyn's crew to all of them. Makes my job easier, which makes your guys' job easier.
Yeah, a lot of work goes into that. You're here on a daily basis throughout the process of about 6 weeks.
At least.
At least. Patty is quite interesting to be around.
Yeah, she deserved that getaway.
Yeah, for sure. Good job. Okay, so is there a motion to adopt the budget?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Hempy.
Second.
Second by Mr. Aldermen. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, next item on the agenda is authorize award crowd control barricade bid from Epic Solutions Worldwide LLC totaling $103,200 for 1,280 barricades and 35 swing gates. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, this is, y'all discussed purchasing them. We took it to a reverse bid, and just to note, when we went out before we reverse bid, the prices were about 109 at the barricade, and we're at 79. So,
Yeah, the initial thought process was this thing was going to be around $200,000 plus, and the reverse auction, you can see that it works quite well, maybe 50 cents on the dollar. But this will allow us to barricade. We have a little difference of opinion here, measuring from their Google Maps, but to barricade from Jackson all the way on Porter to Government, to Washington up to Government, and then all the way to Pine Street to completely cover that. So with what we have also, but and it is strictly it's a safety issue. It's a safety issue.
There'll be gates for the cops,
Yeah.
which we didn't even know we could have. So that'll stop them from having to climb over. And delivery's expected fairly quick, isn't it?
it's
right,
like
Sheriff?
60 days at the
60 days.
So
we'll
what,
definitely have them.
what we're doing is we're having Alan and his crew clean out underneath the water tower behind the community center, the civic center, and that gated area is where these are going to be stored.
They're getting rid of all that concrete and everything.
Everything. Anyway, has anybody got any questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve this purchase.
So,
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Alderman, second by Mr. Blackman. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. New business. Approve the $7,140 quote from Jazzy Johns, Cruising the Coast, October 6th through the 8th, and the Peter Anderson Festival, November 5th through the 6th. Grant them permission to go around barricades. So, is there a motion for that? Eddie, you want to get any comments on this? Really kind of
I'm just
straightforward.
kind of curious, Chick, is that the normal cost? Because I wasn't here at
I
all.
think it's $200 more.
It's 360 more than last year.
How much?
360.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll
Modest
go.
day
That's
price.
for both events, though.
It is for both of them.
I'm
We're
just
getting,
curious.
we're getting a 7-station trailer and a 88 3-station
With attendance, correct?
with attendance for Cruising the Coast, and a 10-station and 3-station for Peter Anderson.
You know, we use that every year. How much does the trailer gonna cost?
Yeah, we need to look into that. though.
I think that's about every year.
It is.
Yeah.
About 40,000.
Anyway,
I'll make a motion, Mayor, we accept the bid from Jazzy Johns, allow them to be able to go around the barricades.
a motion by Mr. Cox and a second by Mr. Wade. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Yep, we need to look into that, because that is part of the initial design stages for the events area down the beach also. Something we can just move right out of there when the storm comes. So it'd be interesting.
Ray will put that on his calendar.
Okay.
Okay, next item of new business is a vote to appoint Monty Tynes as Judge Pro Temp in the absence of Judge Taylor and/or Stacy Zorn, and appoint Tyler Cox as Prosecutor Pro Temp when Monty Tynes is serving on the bench. Is there such a thing? Okay. And Alderman wanted this on the agenda.
Yeah, the next couple of months, those two might have to take some time off. And since Monty has been doing it for so long, he could, pretty much take that, he can run the court, and then Tyler's been doing in Monty's absence in the past, so I think there would be no disruption if either one of them had to miss court. So I'll make a motion that we vote to appoint Monty as Judge Pro Temp.
Motion by Mr. Offenbach, a second by Mr. Cox. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Adopt a resolution to require a medical cannabis establishment to provide state-issued authorization prior to receiving an occupancy inspection and/or certificate of occupancy. Carolyn?
Yeah, this is just part of the process. The state law that was passed allows it first of all requires that anyone seeking a permit through the state has to have their occupancy or their privilege license from the city. But we generally don't give that until we do an occupancy inspection. But it does provide that the city can adopt a policy to require that the applicant get their permit first. And that we can give the applicant a copy of that so that the state knows that we have adopted that policy. So it's a chicken and egg thing, but this just formally says that we want them to get their permit before we will do any sort of occupancy inspections. And we can provide that to applicants.
Yeah, I think that's smart thing to do. Okay.
But it is a roll call resolution.
The next
Oh, it's
one
not?
is-
The next one, this one's not? Okay. So this one,
Does anybody
you could, but.
have any questions, or you want to make a motion by Mr. Impey?
Second.
Second by Ms. Burgess. Any other discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is adopt a resolution to authorize the application for the Mississippi Municipality and County Water Infrastructure Grant Program, WCWI, to request transfer of ARPA funds from the Jackson County to designate authorized representatives for grant applications. What this is the county needs a resolution from the city stating that we're requesting the match of the $4.4 million. And then what happens, that money will come, once we get that resolution from the county back, then we will go to the state and ask the state to match the 8.8 million. So we'll have all of our ARPA funds in place. I assume that that money will come to us and we will set up a special account, correct, Patty?
The ARPA funds is in a separate account now.
The ARPA funds are in a separate account. When we receive the counties, they'll need to go into a line item. We'll create a budget line item for it.
In the same account?
In the same, well,
It'll be a fund.
it'll be a fund. Their money can come to us. I've got to look into the regulations. We may have to put that into a separate bank account as well, because we have to follow all the guidelines. So we'll follow those guidelines as far as setting up. But the state match is essentially, this resolution will allow us to apply for that. They're running the state match as a grant program. So this resolution allows us to accept the county's money and apply for the state match.
There's a good chance we will just put it in that fund, although it might be a little more work on Carolyn and Kelly when they move it over every month. But that way we can keep up with all of that
Yeah,
real
it'd probably
clearly.
be easier because we do it all the same way. So be
Yeah,
consistent.
so that
Yeah.
probably will happen.
So all this money will go into infrastructure, water, sewer, and drainage throughout the city. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Genty, second by Ms. Burgess. Any discussion? Do a roll call. Roll call.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Is there anything that anyone would like to pull from the consent agenda?
I do. I have D.
Street closure?
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item D.
Motion by Mr. Second. Second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. We'll address item D. Approve street closure Washington Avenue from Porter to Government Street and Government Street to Washington Avenue to the Mary C. for the 5th annual Witches Ride on October 29th, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with the closure, but last year, I participated in the Witches Ride, and granted, it did run a little longer than anticipated, but that with the spooky sea and everything, I witnessed, the barricade, the road being opened at 7. There's still a lot of kids, a lot of witches and lights, it's dark, and it was a little nerve-wracking. What I'm recommending we do is extend, not for Washington, but just government, until 9. 9 tends to be like the unspoken,
Yeah.
but then they should have no business being down there. at
Well,
9
we've
o'clock.
asked them, Chick's here, he's been working with the ladies. We've asked them to not keep it tight. They can't throw candy this year, because we have an ordinance against throwing hard candy, and to keep the thing tight. I mean, it's too much stopping and talking and, and you got a group that passes and then there's a gap of 20 minutes and another few pass, so Chick, am I correct on that? You got them all tightened up, so that shouldn't
Hour
be
and
an
a half will
issue?
be maximum that we're gonna be on the street, and then we work with the fire department, because we know it's dangerous, because it is a Saturday night. But it's notwithstanding, you're gonna have a lot of people down there that are down there normally anyway on Saturday night. Taking that into consideration, we wanted to get the kids on out and the ladies down to the Mary C. in that area, where the stage area is, because that will be blocked off between Magnolia and Warren. So there won't be, we can get them in there and they won't be,
It's not gonna be.
right, won't be a traffic problem there. But, I mean, the police department always has the option to extend or shorten the length of a parade route when it's necessary. And we bow to them because they're the experts, and we appreciate that.
Well, and I recommended 9 o'clock, but I mean, I'm not, married to that, maybe 8 or something like that, but that 7 o'clock when they opened it up and the cars started coming through, it was a little hairy.
Yeah, and that's why we asked them to tighten it up and to get, everybody right. I mean, it shouldn't take them an hour and a half to ride from City Hall to Marion City, on a bicycle.
Mayor? Mayor?
Kevin and I talked about one of us could get in the middle.
Yeah.
And then at the end.
Right.
Keep everything.
That's what we talked about.
You can be on a bike on a witch. Still got to dress up.
Okay, so then, I'll leave it up to,
Leave it up to
you know,
police.
you guys.
We'll have 3
figure it
cars.
out.
We'll have one in front, one in the middle, and one back. The aldermen have already agreed to be there to help us, so we'll make sure that none of the stragglers are behind that last car. They'll be told that they'll have to get off the route. They have to stay ahead of us, so we'll do that, make sure, because we don't want any problems by getting hurt.
Okay, well, we'll see how it goes then, that's fine.
You want to make a motion?
Make a motion to put D back into the,
No, just make a motion to approve it.
to approve it, okay. Approve, street closure, Washington Avenue from Porter Avenue to Government Street from Washington Avenue to Mary C. for the 5th annual, which is right on October 9th from 5:30 until 7.
Second.
Okay, got a motion by Mr. Burgess, second by Mr. Aldermen. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Department reports. Anyone want to pull anything from the docket claims? Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the docket claims, Mr. Mayor.
Second by Mr. Impey, second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Anybody have any questions on the monthly budget report?
Make a motion to accept the monthly budget report.
Motion by Mr. Impey, second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is general public comment. The public is invited to address the board for up to 3 minutes each, for a maximum period of 30 minutes. Only 2 speakers will be allowed per side of each issue. If you'd like to address the board on any city issue, you can come forward to the podium, state your name and your address, please. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the Mayor and Aldermen's Forum. Ms. Burgess?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Docs?
Good. I'm
Daniel?
fine there, fine.
Black?
Just one quick question for Carol. The Government Street sidewalk project we talked is potentially first of the year bid.
We should be. We just had to work out a variance issue with MDOT, so as soon as they work that out, we'll get our authorization to advertise and we're ready to go.
We're still somewhat on track for first of the year. That's all. Thank you.
Status, Park County area.
It's been awarded. We're just waiting for all the submittals to clear so we can schedule pre-con.
Okay, and Dina Road.
We're getting ready to advertise that. The item on the agenda was the easement for the Navigator sidewalk. So now that that's cleared, we'll package that up and start moving forward.
Okay. That's all I got.
Okay, the Friday at the Fort concert series starts this Friday. It's at 6 o'clock p.m. The artist is Sarah B. She's supposed to have a really good following. And it's sponsored by Knuckleheads Restaurant this first Friday. We've got sponsors lined up for the rest of the month. Songwriters will do a Friday night there. And I think Mosaic
And the Lady Mae.
Lady May, they will also be sponsors. So I went to the first Friday event at the City of Biloxi just out of curiosity the other day, and that's quite an operation they've got going on there. And I'm hoping that as this thing grows and builds, it'll be the same turnout. There was a couple hundred people, probably 300 people there at that event, and a couple bands, and I think the city bought their own stage over there too. So, but we have our stage, permanent stage there at the fort. So it should be a great, family fun event. So, bring your lawn chairs and your blankets and whatever. You want to sit out there and listen to some music and enjoy the nice weather. And then you have, Rob, you want to talk about your barbecue cook-off?
It's not really mine, it's the city's.
It's your
We
idea.
have that, yes.
It's his big comeback.
Yeah. So we had the crawfish cook-off back there, and I had to tuck my tail and leave that event because I talked a lot of smack and got taken out. So I redeemed myself on some barbecue this Saturday at Mary C.
And
All
it's
the
a
city
city.
departments are cooking 4 racks of ribs, and be judges and see who takes the trophy this time.
Who's our judges?
I
Okay.
already know who they are. Tasting starts at 1, and judging at 1:30.
Okay, I need a motion to go into closed session to discuss the need for executive session.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Empey, second by Mr. Alderman. All in favor? Aye. Okay, the board is now in closed session. We'll go back in office.
Yes, sir.
Whole team, y'all got it done. We got a good kid.
I don't think so. Somebody started, so.
Red Dog Sugar. Red Dog Sugar right there. On weekends, Kelly Portbridge usually got 2 trucks.
He'd be pulling money out of your walk around me. I might ask for a loan and get out of here.
Right here next to the Purple House.
That's all I need to
Oh, I didn't know they were like Kevin.
No, wait, we're talking about,
Oh.
oh, well, I know it's,
But anyway, walked out.
so wait. So wait,
Very big time. I picked them up at the bridge and took them to the triangle last week for the
And then anybody questions about I don't know if they're doing that.
Getting into the fall.
Yeah. It ain't gonna be no big deal. There's no key down there for the bait shop.
So anyway, I don't know, I stopped and asked if they located this down here for me. And then we went on, but even if it's,
Who knows how it is?
I don't know who saw
I got a fish license on. Gerald been out for 2 weeks. That's what I told him. I said, y'all not gonna get anything accomplished here. Y'all need to get away from here. Everything's going back to the Mike will get it back up. Yeah.
I don't know, y'all gotta leave when you're sure.
It'd be pretty all over it.
When you come.
Well, I watched,
What is it?
Don't nobody know.
Where it's stay wet?
Roll from there. Give it a week, it'll quit. We went down there and painted it, called it a location, went back with the roof right last time. Kind of crap. And then with a certain amount of water, when we get a certain amount of rain, it comes out. He did. His first stuff was like be wet, you go in there and dry. Go back next morning, it's wet again.
Sarah, carcass?
You talking crap on behalf of the
Remember when Rita was saying how the fire department?
You said the fire department sound like they got the bag.
Did I say that? No.
She said you did.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't say that. Y'all can all leave.
I didn't say.
I have never said we got
two women.
Motion. Everyone ready?
Yep.
Motion made by Bobby Cox, seconded by Mike Impey to stay in executive session to discuss the Sands litigation and the Levens litigation.
Anybody else need?
Hey, now that you hate me, town piece of
Back
dog.
out.